a junior middleweight limit of 154 pounds, and he brings a professional record into the ring of 43 wins, 3 losses, with 31 big wins coming by way of knockout. And here is the current IBF number 10 ranked junior middleweight contender, introducing the 3-time champion of the world. Please welcome Simon Brown. And his opponent across the ring is the defending world champion on my right, fighting out of the red corner. He enters the ring wearing blue trunks with white trim, originally from Baltimore, now fighting out of Randallstown, Maryland. He weighed in at a trim and ready 152 1/4 pounds with a record of 37 wins, 4 losses, 1 draw, and 1 no contest. He has 30 wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight, he is making the first defense of his title. Please welcome the current IBF Junior Middleweight Champion of the World, known as the Ambassador, introducing Vincent Pettway. Once again, here's your referee in charge. Now to give instructions, Ray Klingmeyer.
Simon, okay, we've already gone over the instructions back in the dressing room. I just want to emphasize 3 things. Protect yourself at all times. Keep your punches up and obey my commands. Shake hands now. Good luck to both of you.
Final instructions from referee Ray Klingmeyer from Maryland. Vincent Pettway, polished boxer. But even today as a champion, he cannot shake the label of questionable chin, the result of being knocked out by fighters who are not known as big punchers. He does have knockout power. Here's Simon Brown, 3-time world champion, originally from Jamaica, where he had very little exposure to boxing. He was a soccer player. A fighter, though, who is very exciting, very effective when pressing the action from close range. He's got that potent left hook. Superb finisher, strong chin, and as we pointed out, he's never been stopped. Because he's so low-key outside the ring, he doesn't get the headlines, but an extremely respected fighter, Mike Tyson, is Simon Brown, who really can pack a wallop.
Hey, there's no doubt about that, Steve. Simon Brown's a wise veteran fighter. He's been around for many years. And as we see here, he's looking to make history and being a 4-time world champion. And I'm not too familiar with Mr. Pettway here, but we don't see much action here. He's moving around, and as I said, it's pretty early here. Maybe something will heat up.
Well, I think the first thing, Mike, is that the difference in opponent is huge. I mean, you know, Simon Brown's fought everybody. He's been champion, and Pettway has not fought that quality opponent, so he's got to be a little worried about what he's got in front of him in Simon Brown.
But then again, sometimes you have these fighters that rise to the occasion. Maybe he's one of these fighters. I don't know. I said once before, I'm not so familiar with Pettway.
Well, it's generally not his style, Mike, but Pettway can engage in physical warfare if necessary, as witnessed in the first fight with Rossi, and an ugly brawl. The rematch, all Pettway, 4th-round knockout for the title, and he doesn't want to get into a war with Simon Brown.
Exactly. He's not fighting Rossi right this moment.
Yeah, the difference there is right, Mike. He's not fighting Rossi. Rossi moves a lot more than does Simon Brown. Doesn't pack quite the same wallop as Brown. Brown has something that Pettway has to be leery of. He's got to use his speed, use his legs, use his... It's not a lot, but youth in this particular regard, because he doesn't have the same mileage on his body either.
But Bobby, as you see right here, Simon's fighting this fight as he did when he fought Bertie McGirt. He's not setting the big punches up. He's coming in, he's lingering, and he's not moving his head, and this can be, you know, dangerous. I notice Simon every now and then when he fights the big fights, every now and then. This is not something that happens on a steady basis. He gets a little stiff, and he seems stiff in this first round. As we know, Simon's a World One fighter, and he's not doing it at this moment.
But many of Simon's fights don't even start till the 4th or 5th round. He's one of these guys that wakes up in 4 or 5.
I'll tell you what, they caught each other with decent left hooks there. Yep. Neither one looking too much the worse for wear.
Mike mentioned Buddy McGirt. That's one of 3 losses. Pettway is down, and he is dazed. He is wobbling.
that knockdown, Simon can shock you and surprise you because his punches, there's a left hook right on the button, and look at the dance this guy does. That's what you call being knocked down.
You know, he uses good timing, does Simon Brown. He knows what's going on. You see him working his way in. He throws the right hand, it counters, and boom, there's the hook right in the temple, top of the head. And the legs are not under Pettway. Simon finishes up, doesn't let him hold on, beats him to the floor.
Well, the 4 times he lost, Pettway, he's lost by that route, the knockout or the knockdown or the stoppage. And so it figures he's the one that hadn't got the chin, not Simon Brown.
All right, let's see what happens. Round 2. Pettway down with about 18 seconds left of the first.
And he still doesn't have his legs. He
No.
still seems wobbly.
There's spaghetti under there. They're still not moving right. He's not moving right on those legs.
What an explosion by Simon Brown. We talked about the left hook, just missing there with the left hook.
I'll tell you what, sometimes when you get hit that hard that early, respect turns immediately into fear.
That's a good point, brother.
And a left jab.
And that's what our friend Mike calls evil intentions. That's what Simon is fighting with. He says he had to get vicious, and he felt very vicious for this fight. Well, he certainly opened it up that way.
He just missed a good counter right hand by Simon Brown, and he's starting to get that rhythm and starting to get his timing down. And I don't think this fight's going to get outside 2 more rounds.
Well, Pettway said to us he didn't want to trade punches with Brown. And this is really getting ugly for Vincent Pettway. Trying to bounce around, regain his composure, and keeping his distance from Brown, particularly that left hook.
Part of the problem for Pettway is going to be if his legs aren't under him, he can't move smoothly, and that's going to be a huge problem with a puncher like Simon Brown right in front of him.
If Simon doesn't get careless and continue to come in without moving his head, this fight is just a long-gone conclusion. He has his hands down. Absolutely, but I've seen fights with him, he just came right at people, and he's just a whirlwind, as I stated earlier.
Well, Simon, who has usually waits till 4 or 5, but if he can get you early, he does. Most of the time, he just plays around and all of a sudden starts unloading that dynamite he's got. Well, he started very early this time. He looks like he wants to go home early.
But he's not coming in behind the jab, and you know that's the very fundamental way to land the bomb, Purdy.
Yeah, I'm surprised at that, Mike. I'm surprised. He's a very good fighter, and he can jab very well. Apparently, he got rich off that one punch, and he thought, I can just hit this guy one shot. I don't need to jab.
Sometimes that's what happens when you have a reputation as being A, a big puncher, and B, your opponent has a questionable chin in his reputation. You just start looking for that one big one, and sometimes some rounds will slip by if you lose.
All right, now he's letting Vince Pettway's head clear, and his legs are getting much, much better now.
He should punch to the body with that big right hand that he's missing. All the punches that he missed to the head, the big ringing punches from long distance, he should throw them to the body, because at least he knows he's going to hit something solid. Elbows, arms, something.
It's interesting because Brown,
Right hand by Pettway to land on Brown's chin.
as he sees it, this fight goes to the late rounds, but he's trying to put an end to it here early with 10 seconds to go in the second round. He has Pettway down late in the first round with a vicious left hook. But Pettway surviving through round 2.
He has let him get away.
Keep your hands on. After you punch, block. After you punch, you block. Okay? Punch and block. Punch and block. Keep your hands close to your face. You do it right. 6 punches now. You gotta watch. He's starting 6 punches. He's trying to stick that right hand on you. Okay? Okay. If you come in and throw your right hand, beat him to the punch.
Let's take a look at that right hand that still lands, but not as good. It wasn't as solid. He wasn't coming in. He was sliding away.
You know, he didn't really follow through with it, Purdy. He kind of countered a quick, sharp one, just dropped it over the jab. Not real powerful.
You're hurting now. Don't lay back. All right? Come on now. Keep that punch down.
All we heard is a snatch of that conversation. That's all he had to say. Don't lay back. Don't lay back. Come on. Get this guy out of here. Don't go to sleep on us.
Vincent Pettway buying some time to recover there in round 2. There's a little too much moisture in that Simon Brown corner. Referee Ray Klingmeyer holding things up for the moment as they towel it off.
That's good.
Simon Brown, who told us that a key for him could be the left hook or the right uppercut, because Pettway opens himself up for those punches, and true to his word. And the words of 76-year-old Matt Lewis in the corner of Vincent Pettway. Over 50 years in the business, only one champion, Vincent Pettway. But right now, Simon Brown in a very good position to take that title away. Round 3. Right uppercut by Vincent Pettway.
Simon's come out this round starting to work the body a little more, maybe lulling Pettway to dropping his hands to come over the top again, because I'm sure he feels that if he lands clean, he can hurt Pettway at will.
Now, Bobby, if I'm wrong, tell me, if Simon comes in, is he off his feet when he's lunging with these punches?
He's been doing a little bit of that, Mike, which I'm surprised. He's not following in. He's got a good jab that he uses, but he's been jumping in a little bit, I guess maybe over anxious because of the early knockdown.
Exactly. Normally when a guy goes in trying to look for a knockout, he loses the decision. Hopefully that's not the case here.
Well, it seems like Pettway has been able to recover from that punishment he took in round 1. Now he's bouncing around on the balls of his feet and eluding those right hands by Brown.
He's getting brave now. He's doing some fighting back. Last round was sort of get together and escape. This round is starting to fight and come back.
Good lateral movement by Pettway. Good lateral movement. Good evasiveness.
Pettway does have good hand and leg speed. He knows how to come in at the angles. There's a left hook by Vincent Pettway.
See, there's where the difference is, guys. On the inside, Simon Brown gets hit with the Sunday punch. He has confidence in his chin, and Pettway right now. Just as I speak, the devil jumps up and bites me.
A right hand lead.
Beautiful right hand counter. Twisted turn and drops Simon right in his track.
Bobby, you were saying?
Yeah, that's it.
And a minute to go. A minute, a lot of time left. In the 3rd round, can Pettway finish Brown off now? What a turnaround to this fight.
And as I stated earlier, sometimes fighters rise to the occasion, as we see Pettway did. And he was hit with a good left hook, Pettway. This is a war.
This is the first time Simon Brown's been in this kind of trouble. All the time I've been watching.
Oh.
He still isn't.
He was staggered. Simon Brown. Simon Brown has never been stopped in his career.
I'll tell you what, though, Pettway's still moving. He's not attacking too much. He's coming from the outside. He's fighting smart.
20 seconds left in the 3rd round.
Pettway's fighting like a master, and Simon's taking these punches off the chin.
But Simon's getting in big trouble. See, his legs are going. Simon is in big trouble here.
10 seconds left. A lot of time in boxing.
Combination of the head by Pettway. Brown fires a left hook back. That comes Pettway to the midsection. As the bell sounds.
And we have a war tonight.
What a finish to a round. I don't think anybody here expected to see Simon Brown on the ground tonight, and he was down there.
More water,
And
get that water. Now what you got to do is move your head. No, you got caught up here. Right? Now relax. You're in a fight, boy. I told you it was going to be rough. Well, you just got caught with a good shot.
I, for one, like to see this knocked out, to see exactly where that punch landed. I can't believe my eyes the way Simon Brown went down. A right hand right over that left.
pinpoint accuracy by Vincent Pettway.
It was a perfect right hand. You watch it. He counters it. He turns his body back. Bang.
Bang.
Turns the weight right in, right on the chin.
You can't hardly do it better.
And Simon Brown still looked like he hasn't run his legs well.
Simon Brown down a minute 49 into round 3. Still a lot of wetness around Brown's corner.
That's smart. That gives him a lot of time. He's not moving in a great motion, in fluid motion, moving in kind of a herky-jerky motion.
Imagine the confidence in Vincent Pettway after this tremendous knockdown and the beating that he just gave Simon Brown at the end of that round.
So the strategy by Pettway to stay away from Brown in that second round, allowing him time to recover, and then he comes back with a vicious right hand that sends Brown to the canvas.
And Mike, what could be going through Simon Brown, a three-time champion, not used to going down, and he finds himself. Mike, what do you think when something like that happens to you?
Well, in this particular case, he was overconfident. He dropped this man earlier with a vicious left hook, and right now I know he's saying I must take it easy and just pace myself and look for the knockout. And hopefully he'll come in behind the jab and moving his head. As you notice, he did that because his left hand was down after he threw his jab, similar to what Max Mellon did to Joe Louis in 1936.
Yeah, we've seen two fights that have a great similarity with that right hand domination.
And I was talking about Simon Brown being confident with his chin, and sometimes that confidence releases just that kind of mistake.
The public on his feet, some hollering, Simon, Simon, some Vince.
A crowd of just over 7,000 in attendance here.
Simon looks clear now. He's looking for the knockout. A warrior to the end. He continues to have the predatory approach here in this particular event.
He reminds me a lot of Zuma Nelson. He just...
Oh, a quick left hand, flush on the face by Brown. But Pettway, who comes in with the questionable chin, hanging in there.
It was kind of a rising hook or an uppercut, but there's a cross between the two, but it landed clean.
It's another one.
You have to understand, Steve, this is rivalry. He's fighting at a level that he would normally never fight just because he has to go back home.
And Simon Brown says he brings out the best in opponents. IBF junior middleweight title at stake.
Side-to-side movement by Pettway here.
Good stuff.
Right hand.
Lunging by Simon Brown.
And back comes Brown to the midsection with uppercut with the left hand.
Gentlemen, I still think that the chin is going to be the difference in this match. Before this is over, it's going to be who can sustain the most punishment.
Simon Brown needs to come in with the jab. I can't believe he's lunging in. Such an experienced fighter.
I think he's mad. I think he's no longer boxing. I think he's fighting now.
Simon Brown, who was put on the canvas earlier for only the second time in his career. The first time was back in 1991 at the hands of Buddy McGirt, one of his 3 losses. But that was a decision. All 3 of his losses by decision. He's never been KO'd or TKO'd. 10 seconds left in the 4th round. Incredible pace.
Pettway has fought a fight like if he had been down the last time. He ran the whole time.
Simon Brown has to continue to use the jab.
Down in here. You're back on top now. All right. Now you're back on top. All right. Now you're back up on top. Remember about you're trying. Remember what we worked on, how guy keeps moving that way on you? You got to lead off with your right hand. Left hook, right hand. When you move left hook, right hand. Move around the side. That right hand down here. You lift your right hand. Right hand. Roll. Roll your head. You're okay, baby. You're all right. You won that round. It's a dangerous fighter. Nothing there. Be careful. He's a dangerous fighter. Keep your hands close to your face. Up deep. Up deep. All right, let's go.
Round number 5.
Unofficially, I have Simon Brown ahead as the 5th round starts. But boy, this is ebb and flow. One takes one round, one takes the other. This is going back and forth.
This is almost like the first Hopkins-Furtado fight.
Exactly what I was going to say. Took the words out of my mouth.
Pettway's fighting very cautious and smart, in my opinion.
I wonder, should he have been that...
Hitting on the break. Ray Klingmeyer on the face of both fighters.
Let him fight.
2 warnings, Steve, so...
Both had 2 fights, 2 warnings. Both of them had.
Nice right hook there by Simon Brown that landed, but bouncing right off the face of Pettway. One left hook missing by Brown, and Pettway looking to take advantage.
Nice uppercut to the body by Simon Brown.
And he hurt Pettway with that body.
He did. He stopped him straight right in his track. Very seldom do you see somebody stop a guy with a body shot like that.
Simon Brown with a chopping right hand to the top of Pettway's head.
I'll tell you what, all this movement, all this jumping around that Pettway does, it takes a lot of energy. Rounds 8, 9, 10, 11 show up. That energy could be a big factor.
And Brown will be there.
There seems to be a little cut above Brown's eye, but it looks like just a nick. It doesn't look like much.
Pettway's giving good movement, even though he's not throwing punches. It's frustrating towards the challenger.
But I think he's losing points that way. I don't think he's winning.
Oh! Again, Pettway is in trouble as he goes through the ropes. Minute 30 and counting in round 5.
Steve, the referee didn't see a low blow there. He hit Pettway in the groin. Pettway bent over, and he hit him with a right hand and another right hand through the ropes.
And Ray Klingmeyer, the ref, is saying, I didn't see any low blow. Pettway complaining to Klingmeyer. with 1:10 to go in the fifth.
Well, he's sure giving him enough time to get ready, to recover. But that's exactly what happened, Bobby. He got hit a low blow. The referee didn't see it. And shouldn't he continue to fight Simon Brown?
Well, Simon Brown must continue to fight. I would have done the same thing. That's what a fighter must do.
Pettway wants time to recover, but Klingmeyer says he didn't see the low blow, so they go back at it.
Hold it, right now, hold it.
And it is really getting dirty.
Pettway went right at him. Two punches right in the groin.
I'm telling you, both to keep punches up.
You just don't push around a referee. He showed a bad attitude to the referee. He could get disqualified, and this would be a shame in this fight.
And here comes Brown pouring it on with left hooks and uppercuts.
Pettway's fighting smart. I just have to give him that. He's fighting smart. Hands up, moving his head, countering Simon Brown, even though Simon's coming in with those haymakers.
Nice feint to the right by Pettway, and then throwing the left. The left cross.
I'll tell you what, Simon Brown, when he hit him in the groin, he bent him over. He hesitated. The referee did nothing, and so he just fired away.
And that comes from the experience of Simon Brown.
And he
continues to punch until the referee breaks him apart.
Exactly.
Left cross again, right into the
Look at
face
him,
of
punching
Pettway.
hard. Boy, this Simon Brown is something. Punching, keep fighting.
Continue to fight after the bell. Pettway landing with a right after the bell.
Wow, is this thing getting crazy?
Aaron Stoll, the trainer for Simon Brown, all over the referee.
The referee's got to take control. Let's listen. Well, it's obviously happened ever since he went through that rope. The referee lost control of his fight. He's not been able to calm these two fighters down, and now it's getting really out of control, and he hasn't done anything about it. Let's look at the replay. This has got to be interesting. Now let's look at the low blow. Keep your eye on Simon. There it is. Now the scream. Down. 1, 2, out of the ring. Now, Bobby, nothing that he could help. He should do that.
But it would be a big shame if that foul caused this to happen. And this is something that's going to be very, very prominent in judging for the scoring later.
Round 6.
Round 6, a little sermon by the referee. Come on, boys. Let's not have that.
And a very, very tipped off Vincent Pettway starts the round. Pettway, who went after Brown after the bell.
Oh my. Simon seems frustrated, but the punches he is throwing.
He's winging in big shots. Mike's coming around with everything.
If anything lands, we're going to have a long night.
And once again, Vincent Pettway telling us yesterday he didn't want to trade punches with this man, but it has
Pettway's going to have a long night.
Well, he didn't get much choice when he's in there with Simon.
Left hook there by Pettway, but it was guarded by Brown.
It's like saying you don't want to trade punches with Tyson when he's in the bunch. If the guy's in your face, what are you going to do? You don't want to? Yeah, well, too bad.
You don't have much choice.
Well, Steve, what he's got to do is what he just did. Use a jab, use his feet, fire 1, 2, 3, and get back out. And when he lands them quick, you saw what happened to Simon Brown with that right hand. He was on the canvas.
Well, Simon Brown is now in control of this fight on the basis of 2 10-8 rounds, and he's been the aggressor, and he's only won a couple of real good rounds for Pettway, so he's in control of, as far as points are concerned, but this looks like it isn't going to go to a decision.
But, Bobby, I still don't like the fact he's just walking in without throwing a jab.
And that may have been a butt.
Just butt heads with Vince.
They accidentally banged their head.
Now it's the butt. Now it's the butt they're going to get argued.
Then is that a cut? Is that a cut?
You all right? Things being thrown into the ring now.
He had the cut under his eye, Bobby.
The referee
Accidentally banged heads. Simon was coming in to throw a punch. Pettway was ducking the block, and they slammed heads.
Yeah, something's in the ring. Somebody's throwing paper in the ring. It's a wrapper. Let's hope nobody slips on it. The referee hasn't seen it yet. Oh, this is a foul fest now.
It may not get up. It's over, guys. This fight's over. He's not getting up.
He is not getting up, Bobby.
Out. It's all over. Out. Look, it's Simon Brown. Convulsions. Oh, let's hope he's all right. What's he doing? He continues to fight on his back, throwing punches on his back. Unbelievable. They got to get help to Simon Brown.
see that there's a neurosurgeon coming up. Brown looks like he's in trouble, but there's a neurosurgeon. I know him well. He's on the case.
We've seen this too many times, Bertie. And Bobby.
All right, here we have another situation. I'm going up in the ring and check the medical, but it seems like another one of those nights.
Incredibly, while Simon Brown was out cold on his back, he continued throwing punches, almost robot-like, from his back, sprawled out. I've never seen anything like
I can
that.
only think that it's his fighting instincts and his subconscious still wanting to win. I cannot understand what was going on there. Just a reflex action at best. But I'm going to tell you something. I'm impressed with Vincent Pettway. He has come of age.
There is bedlam in the ring right now. Vincent Pettway celebrating at one end, and the concern for Simon Brown at the other. Does this strike a chord? Oh,
I'll tell you what, Steve.
I don't want to see McClellan and Ben all over again, believe me.
Steve, I've seen many men knocked out like that, some worse. I've been on the delivering end of some of those, and he's okay. Well, you watch it again. Pettway's still doing his moving and using his quick counters. Simon missing some big shots, and it's a speed again. A 1-2. He ducks in and catches him clean. Catches him looking, turns right into him. His head slammed into the canvas, Steve, which could have just added to insult to injury, so to speak.
What a left hook.
Bobby, as you notice, as he's throwing the punch, he beats him to the punch. As you're going to see right here, he throws his right hand. Right here, the left hook comes. Bang! His head's up in the air. He knocks him cold. Matter of fact, he's so incoherent. He's throwing punches as he's down. He thinks he's still fighting.
Look at this reaction off the textbook knockout by Vincent Pettway. Still throwing punches while on his back, Simon Brown.
It's amazing, Steve.
Vincent Pettway continues to celebrate. Meanwhile, Marilyn Boitano, the physician in attendance, working over there in that cluster, in that crowd with Simon Brown. And some final offers of prayer for Vincent Pettway in the other corner. What a scene here at the USAir Arena in Landover, Maryland. Vincent Pettway, in his first title defense, defends his IBF Junior Middleweight Championship in dramatic fashion. He was knocked down in the first round. He came back, he recovered. Simon Brown seems to be better now. A little smile as he hugs Vincent Pettway. He's sitting on the stool over there. And now they're applying the oxygen to Simon Brown, taking no chances. Standing by for the official announcement from Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Let me have all the water in the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 2 minutes, 7 seconds in round number 6. The referee counts to 10. The winner by way of knockout and still champion, Vincent Pettway.
So there you have it, Vincent Pettway retains his IBF Junior Middleweight Championship with a blistering left hook halfway through the 7th round that ended it for Simon Brown. So Vincent Pettway keeping the title belt in Baltimore, now 38-4-1. His first defense continues to be the biggest name of the division, of course, with Terry Norris on the outside looking in at the moment. The fight doctor, Bertie Pacheco, in the ring.
All right, everything seems much better. He's setting up. The doctor's in charge of it. 2 or 3 doctors are here. Simon Brown is taking oxygen. He's very clear-headed. He's very clear-eyed. He's okay. There's absolutely no problem with him. It's been a resounding knockout. Medical treatment very good. Right on top of the case. A neurosurgeon, a ring doctor, everyone right on top of the case. So from the medical to the triumphant champion, and that was one of the surprising endings of the year.
Yes, it was. But first, I'd like to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for this victory, because I know preparing for this fight, the devil tried to get busy, but we give him no power and authority here. And this is the Lord's victory because it was he who prevailed, let me prevail tonight.
Well, I agree with that, and also your training, and also your management, and also your talent, and also a terrific punch, which we're going to see when we rack it up here on this monitor. But you have to say the fight was going away from you. It looked like he was going to knock you out. Let's take a look at it. You tell me what you saw here. It looked like you were going to get knocked out.
Well, I'm trying to jab throw right hand. He came in with a hook, and you see, if this the one, I think he hit me with a low blow. You can, okay, that's a right hand. I came with a hook. That's the hook that I knocked him out with. He threw a right hand. I came over top with a counter left hook. But before, when he knocked me down, it really shouldn't have been a knockdown because he hit me low, and I complained. Then he came over top and caught me again, and the referee called it a knockdown.
Yes, there were a lot of rough spots in there. I didn't think the referee was in control of the fight.
No, he wasn't.
I thought it was getting away from both you guys.
No, he wasn't.
It looked like he's going to get knocked out. You're boxing. You're fighting. Okay? Anybody can knock him out.
Right.
So what we want, he knocked him out. So you
The first round I knocked him down. Well, at the time that I knocked him down, I didn't want to get careless and come in there and try to, you know, overwhelm him and leave myself open. But he caught me with some good shots. I know he has power. I've been around Simon before, and I know he's a wily veteran, so I had to stay on top of my game and show him that I didn't want to rush myself and let everything come into play.
Well, you had a great piece of luck because you were behind, but you were fighting like a savage, and it was
piece of luck to fight.
Let me tell you, he was way behind. Wait a minute,
I don't know how you consider me way behind. When I was leading, I think I was catching him with shots. I believe he was, you know. But anyway, before all that, I like to say hello to my good friend, Reginald K.O. Gross, who's in Atlanta. Hey, brother, this one is for you. You can shut all those people in D.C. mouths up. Thank you, and God bless everybody.
God bless everybody. Thank you. Don, one of the attractive fights of the year.
It was an exciting fight. The referee left a lot to be desired in the fight. However, that's the way it goes, but I think it was completely out of control of the fighters. It looked like it was a little too old to be performing in there, and so, but the fight itself was a tremendous fight. Both guys were fighting. One knocked one down, one knocked the other one down, but that left hook was just a blazing left hook that just froze Simon.
Do you think that Simon really got so completely knocked down because his head really bounced off the canvas? It was such a big knockdown. He went about and bounced his head off the canvas. That's what it looked like. He was just completely out.
That left hand hit him, and he was still fighting, even though he was like on the floor. He was still throwing jabs and hooks, so he thought he was still into the fight, laying there taking the count. That was a terrific fight. Pettway really proved himself to be a champion. It was quite a test for him, Ferdy, and he rose to the occasion. So it was a tremendous fight.
Well, I don't think we can expect more from two fights back-to-back that were filled with action, controversy, and threatened controversy. And we do have to say that the good medical treatment, again, after our disasters of the past, have now become commonplace. This is another time we saw good doctors in action taking care of business. The referees have decided not to talk to us, by the way, refused to talk to us, and has left the ring. And, of course, there's still excitement in Pettway's corner. I think they're a little irritated with me.
Well, I think it was a good fight, and I must commend the medical crew that came in and gave Simon a great attention right away and didn't waste no time. It is becoming the rule rather than the exception, and I'm very proud of that, and I applaud the medical crew of the Maryland Boxing Commission. They've done a tremendous job here tonight. It was a great fight. There's a lot of people that are irate because they feel that Pettway didn't get his credit for what he did do in knocking out the guy, but a lot was taken from the fight by the way it was handled. And so one time it was Simon Brown's corner. They want to protest because they felt that it would have been over already had it not been stopped in the middle of an exchange. Now Pettway is mad at you because they don't feel that you giving him the credit for what he should do. So we have an exciting night of boxing.
We have something in common. Everybody in boxing at one time or another has been mad at me or you, so we don't, that ain't nothing new here. All right, let's talk about what's coming. Before I start to ask you what's coming on, I think I should notify a good piece of news for the audience. Simon Brown went out under his own power, walking straight, talking right. He's completely recovered. We have nothing to worry about Simon Brown. So that's a good piece of news I want to impart before we get to the future of this great summer coming up of boxing.
Well, one thing for certain, Simon will be back. A fighter gets knocked out, it's just like losing a basketball game or a baseball or football game. To get you reconnoiter, deploy your forces, attack again. So Simon will get himself in shape and get out there and fight again. It's not the end of the world, but this was a terrific fight. It was a great show for Showtime, both back-to-back fights and really 3 title fights. It was the USAir fight between Freddie Pendleton and Daryl Tyson. That was a barn burner. So we got a great show here.
We didn't see that. But tell us what's coming up now. Tell us about May. Tell us about June. I hear we're going to travel a little bit.
Okay, in May we're going to be in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We got an exciting show with Frankie Lyles, the man who beat Michael Nunn. In Ecuador, will be defending his title against Salier, the Frenchman coming over from France to try to take the crown back to France. On that card, you will have Jorge Castro, which was almost the fight of the year when he fought John David Jackson in Mexico City, and John David Jackson was sensational. He was beating him to punch on every punch, and then a blistering left hook, just as you saw Pettway do tonight, froze John David Jackson, and he still remained the champion. So now he's going to defend that crown against Anthony Andrews out of Guyana. So it's going to be a great fight there in Broward County at the Fort Lauderdale Convention Center that we'll be at in May 27th. And June 16th, we travel to France. In France, we're taking on Frankie Randall will be defending his crown with an opponent to be named. But the main event will be Mike McCullum, the body snatcher. And the body snatcher will be taking on a young man from France named Fabricio Tiozo. And it's going to be one fight. He's a European champion. He's a French sensation. And so it's going to be a give and take there. And the best man will win when the body snatcher goes to France to claim another body.
That's in Lyon. And
that's in Lyon, France. And it's going to be on the 16th of June. And then in July, we are working on Oliver McCall and Frank Bruno at Wembley. If we get the date cleared up, and my partner Frank Warren is working on that now, it would be Oliver McCall and Frank Bruno, and Nigel Benn, one of the most sensational champions we've had, will be defending his crown with an opponent to be named, and hopefully we'll have Bruce Seldon on the card defending his WBA crown. So that's a great evening there. And then we're going to have a major announcement next week, Ferdy, which I would rather for the public to do, but the adrenaline can get to flowing.
That's enough.
Yes.
Yeah,
and we'll have a major announcement, so everybody will get ready for the Tyson fever, and the Tyson Odyssey is about to begin. Well, I'm really thrilled and chilled here when I think about it.
Talking about Tyson, let's go back to Steve, who's sitting right next to Mike Tyson. Steve Albert.
All right, thank you very much, Ferdy, along with Mike and Bobby Ches. Let's take another look and listen to that explosive knockout by Vincent Pettway that ended things for Simon Brown tonight. Listen.
Jab right hand, left hook like Ike was.
And incredibly, Mike, you saw as Simon Brown almost instinctively kept throwing punches while on his back.
In there. Just spit it right in there. Don't worry about it. Drop your hands. Be sharp. Change your angle. Give him that, hey, come on. And snap your punch.
So you saw the